People are posting RIP. I was so confused. And now in that instant, anxiety, everything came flooding in. I was wearing a mask. My eyes turned red. I was crying. Mucus was coming. I was crying like a child because I'm like, what's happening? I'm responding to these people's statuses. They are deleting it. They are not talking to me. They are blue ticking me. I text my sister. My sister is not answering me. I'm calling my brother. Nobody's answering me. Finally, I'm texting my cousin. I'm like, bro, I'm seeing people are posting. Are posting that my dad is dead. Please, help me find out. Where is this coming from? Is it true? Is it true? That's when my aunt now called me. She said, no, he's just in critical condition. I feel like it's the first time my aunt has lied to me.
My goodness,
just
like
so
my
that
mother.
I calmed down because I was crying.
Yeah.
She said, really? Will this happen? I will not tell you. It's just in critical condition. We are praying for him. So you too pray. So
you've seen RIP. Maybe not one, not two, not three. What are these people taking you for?
Let me tell you, I went into the bathroom, washed my face, and I can even remember while I was crying. I don't know who that gentleman is, but that's the most inconsiderate thing you can do. You're seeing someone crying on a phone call, and you're coming to tap me to ask for time of departure. You can't go and ask steward. You can't go and ask steward.
My goodness,
so
Labi.
I was like, okay. I went to the washroom, washed my face. I was like, okay, he's still alive. So I was praying. That's what I was now praying a prayer. I was saying, God.
So in the bathroom, you're there praying.
I was like, God, is it because I'm a sinner? If it's because I'm a sinner, take my voice. Leave him alone. I'm sorry. God, have mercy on me. God, forgive me. I will live a life. I'll be a priest. If you let him.
Apostle Paul, Paul be the same as that group.
Like this. Father Isaac. That's what you'll be calling me.
Hello. Welcome to Through the Ashes, where we give you stories of PKs, the untold, the unfiltered raw truths of PK life, the life behind the pulpit, the life behind the pews, the life behind the titles and the mics, where we get to tell you our truth. We get to tell you our stories. We get to tell you the reality of who we are. My name is Grasher Maingi, and this is Through the Ashes. Now, last week I was told I don't reach. Now, I dey reach.
You don't land.
I dey land, I dey land. This is part 2 of Labi's story, Isaac Labi. He has an amazing story, but you won't catch part 2 if you didn't watch part 1. Part 2 will not make sense. You need to watch part 1 first. Then you can come back to part 2, and then you will be able to connect the 2 stories, all right? But let's get to part 2. But if you're missing part 1, please run and watch part 1. It's still on our YouTube channel at Grasher. But right now, where were you?
So my dad passed 1st December. And at that period, it was so much confusion. It was so much. I didn't know how to handle loss because earlier that same year, my grandfather passed away. Yeah, and the way the news was broken to me was very funny. My brother, if he's watching this, you should hear. My brother just sent me a message. Baba, that's my grandfather. Baba has passed. Don't tell mommy. That was it. I was on the line.
You, who is in Kenya, is being told.
Not to tell my mom because my mom
who is in Nigeria.
My mom had traveled. I don't know where she was at that time. But she was not, it was not known to her. So that was my father's father now. From my grandfather from my father's side had passed. That's how I found out. And that's how the news was broken to me. I was on the line going to get supper in Daystar. And that's how I found out. I was just saw notification from my brother. Baba has passed. Don't tell mommy. That was it.
No intro, no outro, just a headline.
I picked food. In fact, I didn't even collect food. I just passed the line, went to sit. My friendship circle that time, Jonathan Wakiru, you know some of these people, Jonathan Wakiru, Gideon Query. Yeah. We sat down and they were eating and they were all making noise and I was saying nothing. And then all of a sudden tears were dropping from my eyes and they were asking me what was happening. And I was like, man, I need to get out of here. My grandfather just passed. And in that time, it was guilt. Because as a teenager, I was one of those teenagers that found my grandparents uncool because people's parents, people's older brothers, people are coming with PlayStation, Game Boys for visiting hours. My grandfather is coming to fight the PTA council that his son is not getting proper treatment. And at that time, I didn't find it as love. I found it as embarrassment. So I always didn't enjoy his coming, but he always came with so much joy because he was happy to visit me. So he would put his best effort as a grandfather at his age to come and see a teenager in high school. But I didn't appreciate that. So I always never enjoyed being around him. I'd always want to avoid being around him. And then that moment, all that guilt came in of, is that not the same man you're running away from? Because I can even remember when he was sick, I was giving the phone to him to talk to me. And he's always happy to talk to me. I just felt like he was wasting my time. So in that moment, all that guilt, so I didn't even know how to handle it. So now, again, with my father's loss, guilt again. So it was just
So
like...
when daddy died, what happened? Where were you?
What was
happening?
I was in Nairobi. I lost my passport. Well, technically, I didn't lose it. I feel like it was stolen because I was going for some audition for a worship team, and my passport had a cover that made it look like a wallet. So I put it in my back pocket, and then I was coming down from the bus one time, and I didn't find it. It's like, just got lost. So I feel like it was stolen. It was stolen. So I'd come back to Nairobi to get it fixed, to get a new one and everything, considering the embassy is here, and couldn't do it from the stead of my uncle's house in Mombasa. And I was staying with some friends at apartments hostel in Daystar. I was writing exams that day. I can remember clearly I had an exam that day, and my aunt called me and she was like, "How have you been writing exams?" I'm like, "Through my friend's laptop." "Does he have Wi-Fi?" "Yes." "Is there light?" "Yes." "I know. I feel like you'll be more comfortable in Mombasa doing your exams." Plus, they were having a church conference coming up, like I think either that week or the next week. And they were like, "You should come and be part for choir practice." And I'm like, where's all this one coming from? Because my passport was not yet ready. And they're like, "We have booked flights." Like, flight?
Flight car.
Flight care. You know, SGR is the usual way of movement. Like, flight has only been when I came to Kenya. Then I was going to Mombasa to spend some time at my aunt's house before I came to Daystar fully. And then when COVID happened, my uncle paid for flights for all of us plus his children to go at once to Mombasa because of the restrictions that were coming in fast. So when I was like, flights? That's a bit, because COVID, flights was not cheap, you know me.
So you were wondering, what is this that is making you get flights?
So I went, I packed a few of my stuff, and I first came to there's a mission house here in Nairobi, so I went there, and then from there I was taken to the airport, and I was wondering what's happening. Nobody was talking to me, but it just didn't feel okay.
Right.
Like, it felt like something was going on. So it was while I was checking in at the airport, and I can remember as I was even checking in, my bag was overweight, and they were like, "Oh," and then I was like, "I'm a student," and they were like, "Okay, you can have free pass." And then that's when I was looking through, I bought bundles, and that's when I was looking through WhatsApp, and I found someone send me a text. As a friend of mine, who whenever someone dies, she always starts, "Please tell me it's not true." So I'm like, so she came to my DMs, "Please tell me it's not true." So I'm like,
so you're like,
who has died now?
Yeah.
You know, who has died that you're asking? If you're asking me, that means it's somebody we both know. And I'm not aware. And then when I asked that question, I think that's when she realized I don't know. So behind the tent, there was an agreement that was made for nobody to post it online so that I don't find out online. I should be told by my aunt and my uncle. That hence why they were trying to bring me to Mombasa as fast as possible.
Very quickly.
And unfortunately, they did not counter for these people's children because I have their kids' numbers. So she didn't say anything. I was like, what's going on? I tried calling her on WhatsApp call. She was not picking. I was like, okay. And then I go to status, viewing status till when it's time for the flight. And I see people posting my dad with
So
a
that's how you.
dove. And I'm like,
So you were seated at the waiting area?
yes. And someone is posting my dad with a dove. R.I.P. I'm like, this my father. This
You're posting.
No, because before that day, on Thursday, I think December 1st in 2020 was on a Tuesday. On Thursday, me and my dad literally spoke. We were talking about how in 2021 I would move off campus from living on campus in Daystar University and everything. And he was fine. He was like, are you ready for that responsibility? I said, yes. Me and my friends were planning to go and get one apartment room together. I was like, yes. And it was a shocker because I was expecting my father to give me a hard time, but he was not. I was like, okay. So we even texted. At that time, I was trying to learn how to cook, and he'd be like, what have I cooked for him? I can remember in October that year was when I went to him to apologize for being a prodigal son. I said, I'm sorry for not picking your calls. I'm sorry for not answering your messages.
So you were not picking his
Hey,
call.
when I came to Kenya, I was a very devoted, rebellious child. Like my father would
You were running away from home,
my
literally.
father would call me in school and I would not pick the call and I would text way later and say, oh, sorry, I was in class.
So you were those ones that were saying it, ring, and you're like,
Yes.
boys.
So, and that added to the guilt as well. So when in October, it was one of those moments of, okay, I've tried by my own strength and I'm failing. I need someone who is wiser than me, where I can be honest with the struggles that I'm going through, because I'm trying to live a life of faith, but I can't live it as I ought to. I am not that soldier who is perfect as I thought I should be, because perfection in my head was being without blemish. You should not have any stain at all. By your hard work, you should not be sinful. You should always say the right thing. You should always be blasting scriptures constantly. Even when you're joking, let it be scriptural. And I said I needed my father. So I reached out to him and I apologized, and all was forgiven, and we were slowly getting to become friends, more or less, where I was slowly getting to the point where I could trust him with things that I was actually struggling with, deep things, the sinful ways and sinful thoughts, all those things. And now as we're getting to that point, he dies. I say, I just spoke to this guy on Thursday. What do you mean? They even told me, he's fine. You get. I did not know he was sick. Everyone else knew except me. I did not know. Like, my dad had health issues, but I never knew it was.
You didn't know it was that serious.
Scary enough for he can die. It was one of those things I was like, okay, he will live to a good age. Like, at least you'll see me marry and maybe one grandchild or so and all those things. And I can even remember I used to attend worship classes that year where I would write a song and I would tell him about how my first project will be a live recording and I want him to be there and all those things. And I can remember coming back now to time that is present.
Mm-hmm. You're seated
at the waiting area.
Yeah.
People are posting RIP. I was so confused. And now in that instant, anxiety, everything came flooding in. I was wearing a mask. My eyes turned red. I was crying. Mucus was coming. I was crying like a child because I'm like, what's happening? I'm responding to these people's statuses. They are deleting it. They are not talking to me. They are blue ticking me. I text my sister. My sister is not answering me. I'm calling my brother. Nobody's answering me. Finally, I'm texting my cousin. I'm like, bro, I'm seeing people are posting. Are posting that my dad is dead. Please, help me find out. Where is this coming from? Is it true? Is it true? That's when my aunt now called me. She said, no, he's just in critical condition. I feel like it's the first time my aunt has lied to me.
My goodness,
just
like
so
my
that
mother.
I calmed down because I was crying.
Yeah.
She said, really? Will this happen? I will not tell you. It's just in critical condition. We are praying for him. So you too pray. So
you've seen RIP. Maybe not one, not two, not three. What are these people taking you for?
Let me tell you, I went into the bathroom, washed my face, and I can even remember while I was crying. I don't know who that gentleman is, but that's the most inconsiderate thing you can do. You're seeing someone crying on a phone call and you're coming to tap me to ask for time of departure. You can't go and ask steward. You can't go and ask steward.
My goodness,
So
Labi.
I was like, okay. I went to the washroom, washed my face. I was like, okay, he's still alive. So I was praying. That's what I was now praying in prayer. I was saying, God.
So in the bathroom, you're there
I
praying.
was like, God, is it because I'm a sinner? If it's because I'm a sinner, take my voice. Leave him alone. I'm sorry. God, have mercy on me. God, forgive me. I will live a life. I'll be a priest. If you let him.
Apostle Paul, me and Apostle Paul be the same WhatsApp group.
Like this. Father Isaac. That's what you'll be calling me. Because I was like, I blamed myself. I said, it's my fault. It's because I sinned. It's because I lived the sinful life. It's because I lived the sinful nature that he was taking. So I was now listening to a gospel medley throughout the flight. I put my phone on airplane mode, was listening to an audio of a gospel medley as I slept through it. When I arrived, I was even making jokes with my aunt when she came to pick me from the airport, saying like, talking about my struggles for applying for a new passport. I was talking about how I wrote a very correct letter, grammatically correct, properly arranged.
That time that was not ChatGPT.
You know, that time there was no ChatGPT, and I was talking about how they did not even read the letter. Like, why did I have to write it? You know, and everything. I was making jokes. I was being myself. And then I even arrived to Mombasa. I was talking to El Rofi, and I was telling him jokes of how I was embarrassing myself at the airport, crying like a child with red eyes, tears, mucus. I had to buy a new mask because the mask I was wearing was full of mucus and everything. And he was just lightly laughing. And in my head, it was that thing of, I will believe whatever I was told in that moment, because any glimpse of hope is what I'll hold on to. Yeah. So my uncle called for a gathering, and usually there's a conference. So he started talking about how we as the pastors from the pastor's house must also connect to the power. You know those conversations
Yes,
of, you're going for this conference, let the church members not come out with blessing and you don't come out with blessing. Don't get familiar with the grace of me being close to you and all those things. And I was just like, it's the usual talk, prayer. And then we sat down. Then he told me I should go and sit close to my aunt. I said, okay. So me, I didn't know. Then he started with this statement. Remember when I was telling you earlier this year that you should be calling your father? And in my head, it just said... You
thought about all them.
I just said, oh no, don't tell me, don't tell me, don't tell me, don't tell me. And then he was like, unfortunately, my dad passed. So it was around midnight or so. And I was doing my best not to cry. I was keeping quiet. I was having a migraine already in that moment. And then they called my mom. And the moment she said hello, I broke down like no man's business, because I was like, hell, it is true. You get, like, he's gone. That's finished. Pata pata.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. The pata pata pata.
It's okay. It's funny. Trust me, it is. So I was like, And then the phone was taken from her. And then I know the person meant well, but in that time, it's not what I wanted to hear. Be strong for your mother. What do you mean? How did he die? All those things. And I can remember after that conversation, I did my best to calm myself down at the conversation, and I went to sleep. That was the worst sleep I've ever had. Because now I was told how he died, and I kept dreaming about it continuously, reliving the pictorial, imaginative moments of what it felt like to die the way he did. And I didn't have rest. The next day I had an exam. And I didn't even write that exam well, because I was in between writing exam, people calling that, oh, Isaac now knows. Everyone posting, everyone sending me message, everybody calling me to tell me we count God faithful, to tell me it will be well, it's okay. I am now to fill into the shoes of my father, etc.
That one was inconsiderate. Really?
I'm like, you have left my older brother, you're coming to me.
No, me,
like,
small
leave
pikin.
me alone. I'm the last born for a reason, Joe. Like, please. And it was so difficult to write that exam. Because they were even asking me, are you sure you can write exam? I said, I've paid school fees. What can we do? I wrote it the way I could write. And later on, I was immediately told that my passport is ready. I should come back to Nairobi to get it physically. I feel like that was the happiest moment because I got to leave my uncle's house. Because there, it felt, in his house, it felt like everyone knew how to handle grief better than I did. I didn't know how to. So I went back to Kina Sam's and Hezbo, and we were watching Netflix movies, making jokes, telling stories, doing everything else but talking about the fact that my dad is dead. I can remember calling a friend in the airport, a friend of mine called Claire Mudoni. She's the one that was she's a psychology major, so she was giving me assistance in that moment. And then when I had to go back, it was difficult because now I only cried for the first 2 days. The remaining days, I just had headaches and nightmares. And pushing on to, hey, this story is taking long. Let me cut it short. But pushing on to when I came back, it was time for my uncle's conference. And then it was also the period where my dad was being buried. And I can remember I had to do a video because I couldn't be there physically. I watched his burial via Facebook live stream. Even the viewing of the body, Facebook live stream or video. It was
So they
video.
did everything for you.
They did everything for me, for us. So everyone had to take videos. Out of everyone that was taking videos from Mombasa or in my uncle's house, I was the only one who took a video without crying. I was smiling, thanking people. And I can't even remember my uncle shouted at me because I think he thought I was being inconsiderate because I was talking to people and I was making jokes. I was laughing. He said, do you think if you were there to be a funny thing? I didn't know what to do. I was in so much pain. I blamed myself. What else did they want me to do? To cry every day? Tears were not coming. I wish they could come. I was begging them to come, but they wouldn't. Tears started coming when I saw my dad's body being put to the ground. Because I can remember even during the viewing of the body, I was hearing my mom cry. And I was doing my best to hold back tears as she was wailing. And I was like, this is going to be a long day. So we were seated there in the living room. We were watching through the big screen as they were doing the service. My brother reading his biography, autobiography, whatever that one is. And eulogy, yes, that one. And everything, and then talking about how he has left my mom with this amount of children and everything. And then now they were moving the body to the gravesites, which is my grandfather's house in his home state. And I can remember when they were putting the body to the ground, I was like, open that coffin, man. I was like, open the coffin. Shebi Lazarus came out. Yeah. Lazarus' body was smelling. Your body is smelling too. Oh yeah, come out, And then when I saw them throw the first piece of dirt, my heart sunk. Because he's gone. I can remember lifting my head up in the living room and just crying. I had to go to the room. I cried myself to sleep. I was woken up to go for conference that evening. I did serve in choir during that conference. I said nobody should look for me.
I don't think I will even have had strength to go for the conference.
Nobody should look for me. As they were singing praise and worship, I was just standing and looking at everybody as they are singing. Like, what am I singing for? Why? Why should I? God has chosen to punish me. It's okay. So the next year, you still dealing with loss, being in school. I always kept to myself. Thanks for a few friends who always forced issues in my life. One of them being Wisdom Tibaje. Wisdom will carry me to the DCF office. He will force me to sit there and spend time there. He will come and carry me from my room to his room. He did his best to not allow me be by myself, which is one thing I am grateful for. And not just him, but many other friends would check up on me and all these things to know how I'm doing, to know how I was coping. Even a friend of mine called Hajara, she would call me and she would even make jokes like, when you're crying, call me so that I'll record. I'll play it for you later. just as a way to lighten the mood, because all of them were doing their best to help me through it. But I can remember that was the first time I fully accepted sin and lived it properly. Like,
Told sin, I have opened the door, come. With your grandparents, with your mother.
there was no guilt for my actions this time. I cancelled it out. But I was still finding myself on the pulpit leading worship in Daystar, in churches. And I was wondering, how hypocritical are you to say that you are not going to pray to this God, you are not going to read his Bible, his word, you're not going to commit your life to him, but yet you are going to his altar to lead his people in worship. How hypocritical are you? You know? And then later on, I was made Sing Africa music director, and I laughed. And then in that period, I think was where the change happened, because now I was put in charge of people. The whole COVID thing brought about a new wave of Sing Africans who were mostly freshmen or new in school. And then I was like, it was a thing of, I don't want these people to be like me. I want my life to be the example of, this is what you shouldn't do. So I began to mend my ways because of the people I was placed in charge of. Responsibility is what made me come closer to Christ. Of, my life is such a mess, I don't want it to be the same for them. So I got closer to God because I know I can't lead these people without him helping me. I can't make their lives better. My life is a mess. My life is terrible. So how am I going to help them if I don't get source from Christ? So that is what started building a relationship of reading the word, prayer, now getting to understand what it means to live a life of commitment. But again, even that way, it's not the way you're supposed to live life. You're not to live life out of being responsible over a couple of people. Imagine you saying that the reason as a minister you're close to God is because of the people God has given you charge of. It's because of the personal relationship. So God allowed me in that season. Then after that period of being a leader, it now came to be by myself. Now that was outside of campus. And I can remember my whole relationship with Christ was built on the fact of I was in charge of people. So now that I wasn't,
You're not in charge of people. You're just Labi.
we were going back to ground zero again. It's like, okay, we're shattering the one before and we have to rebuild again, where it is now a thing of intimacy. It's a thing of actually building that personal relationship, actually learning how to love Christ as he loves you. You're not going to love him enough in your lifetime. It's never going to equate, but you're to do your best to come close to it. So I didn't know how to love God. I knew how to be his servant. I knew how to lead his people, but I didn't know how to be with him, which is a very weird thing to say, but yeah. So that is my journey to coming into having a personal relationship with Christ. And it's why I say I'm still finding, because it's been, I always say my head is full of so much biblical knowledge, but my life is not submitted to it. So I need to always make sure that the knowledge and my lifestyle are, as they say, na collabo.
Hey, Nigerians. I love Nigerians. I used to think I'd get married to a Nigerian.
Oh, wow. The Lord is good. Amen.
Amen, amen, amen. Do you think life on this side, where you're on the limelight in terms of being a PK, ministry, every other thing that has happened to you, do you think like society gave you room to be vulnerable, or they expected you to show up and just be you and just be Labi?
Yeah, they expected the software to be up to standards. It's like this thing of they treated me like a robot that had everything installed. I was not allowed to be a child. The same mistakes that children made, I couldn't make. And there was this constant thing of comparison that I struggled with so bad. Oh, this child is so modest. Every time in church, they are quiet, they are poised, they are put together, they are acting mature. So I struggled with acting my age. I can remember one time I was made to sit with elders during midweek service as my age mates are sitting behind in church. having the time of their lives, I was seated with elders. How does that help me? So growing up, I had a conflict of this is who you're meant to be versus this is who you are. My age and the way I was raised were clashing. There was no smooth transitions for me. So things that other people have settled in another age, I was settling it when I was older. Because when I was younger, I was expected to be older. It's like even when church members insult you, for example, Nigerians had this terrible habit of having zero EQ. They would always call you names situating to your size, like Orobo, Fatty Bombo, all those things. And those things were hurtful. But because I was a pastor's son, I couldn't talk back. I can even remember a year before I came to Kenya, we were in a station where there was one woman who never called me by my name. Every time she would call me with a name that situates my size. And it bothered me, but I couldn't say anything. It took a security guard who was close to me to speak on my behalf, telling her what she's doing is not good and that she should stop. Because she would call me those names and I couldn't, call out of it, talk back to her or anything. If not, they'll say, pastor's son.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So expect
And I
you
felt
to.
like it did not allow, sometimes depending on how you're raised, it does not allow you have an individual mindset. It does not allow you grow up in the space of asking questions, of putting things to why. Why should I? Why must I? The thing of why that makes you build that intelligent factor is not there. You're told what you're told, and you have to humble yourself to accept it. If not, the next thing is a story is going to be created of, he behaved out of turn. So it was not favorable per se. But I've come to find out that there are other pastors who raise their kids differently. Like their kids were allowed to ask questions, to not accept being called names, to not being bullied, and other things. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you anchor, especially after all the things you've gone through, after the experiences you've gone through, and they've shaped your life, they've shaped your destiny? How do you anchor your identity on Christ?
Mercy. That's like my biggest statement. Every time I'm giving thanks to God, I always talk about his mercy towards me. Because I always say, if people could see the atrocities, I call them atrocities because I think those are dangerous things I've done, and sometimes still find myself in, and how God's mercy still holds my hand and pulls me out, redeems me. There's a song that says, the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. They are new every morning. His mercy is new every morning. He's always faithful to seeing me live a life that is pleasing to him. So I'm just like, mercy. That's been my anchor, that God's mercy has still favored me to continue to rebuild and break forth. It's not a thing that you should stay comfortable in. You're expected to grow in. But even in the growth, it's mercy that I find myself relating to most of the time.
Being told time is up. But as we wind up this conversation, what will you tell your younger self? The younger Labi.
Hey, I would have preferred if he walked with confidence, and if he asked those questions that bothered him. He asked those questions that would have helped him find out his identity better. And if, okay, many people are going to misunderstand this, but grow up in a space, not tell, but wished for him to have grown up in a space where it was okay to be imperfect. Because as much as my mom or my dad did not intend it so, it's how it felt like. It felt like I had to check all the boxes. I was not allowed to grow in the faith. I was expected to be in it. There was no process. It was just...
Wake up, Labi. Be perfect. Like Christ is perfect.
Yes. And to accept the gifts God has given me, because at that time, it was a thing of I didn't think I was gifted. Sometimes I even still struggle to today when people talk about my voice administration. I'm like, is it me you're talking about? Because who is that? It's me. Me. I'm the one that bless you. God bless you. It's not me. It's me. I don't
Cannot be
equate.
Labi.
I don't equate my gifts to be that high. When I sing, I always find it so unpolished. So I don't find it having worth or value. So sometimes even my friends now, they don't like hearing me say it. Every time I say it, they'll be like, excuse me, will you behave yourself? I'll correct
Joe.
your mannerism. So basically, the thing of confidence, asking questions and being allowed to go through the process.
Amazing, amazing. I want you to talk to someone who's probably gone through grief and loss. They don't know where to start. Or someone who's just been wounded and they don't know how to recollect back their pieces. Because we have categories of people, one like you, who grief, wound, and heart is the word I should use. Heart pushed them to the extreme side of sin in the world. And there's someone who just found themselves in sin and they do not know how to recollect back themselves. And then there's someone else who's going through grief and loss and they're thinking, how do I go through this? It's too much. Having walked in that shoe, having been that person where they are at right now, I want you to speak.
I'd say to you, dear viewer or listener, Jesus is the answer. A lot of times people say it and you don't get to understand it because people quote it in religion and not in relationship. The anger you feel, the disappointment you have, the pain and the hurt that you experience, all those emotions and all those psychological distress, they all are important to God. And you are allowed to experience them. He created you. Those things you feel, He created them. So bring them at His feet. Submit them onto His place, holy place. As you're praying, state your anger. State your disappointment. State the hurt that you're experiencing. State what you're struggling with and ask Him to help you. And He will. There's a very famous video of Archbishop Benson that was always saying, God, help me. And that's the thing I still say to date, every day, God, help me. So if you're falling off the wagon and you feel you can't get back up, God, help me. Go back to His word. You will find healing there. It doesn't feel like it, but as you continue to read, it will influence your inner man, your inner person. It may not feel like the word is doing what they show in movies where you feel a zap of life. But trust you me, life is already coming. It will come in due time. For those that have lost someone, the Holy Spirit is the greatest comforter you're going to have. No man is going to tell you the right words. Nobody is going to console you in the right way. But only God can give you the healing that you feel. And I pray for you that you'll find that healing, that you'll find that covering, and that you'll find God in the capacity that you need Him to be. He's known as a father. He's known as a king. He's known as a healer. And that's who He'll be to you. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. That has gone way deep. Thank you. So I have quick fire questions to ask you.
Oh, Jesus.
I love this part. I have quick fire questions to ask you. Morning person or night owl?
I am all of them. I have very terrible sleeping habits. Like, I don't have a definite time. You see how people say, oh, by 9 p.m. I'm gone? No, you can find me at 12, you can find me at 1. Sometimes you can find me at 3. For my Instagram followers, they know. Sometimes I will post a video of me singing loudly for my neighbors through the window at 3 a.m.
You're not serious.
I'm very serious. Sometimes I find myself practicing at 1 a.m. some vocal idea that I have, and I'm like, I'm disturbing my neighbors. It's okay. Their children disturb me during the day. Let us bless each other.
Let us bless each other.
So I don't have a restrictive time. It all depends on the day, really.
First job ever?
First job ever. It was a singing gig. We were singing from 12, was it 12? I think from 10 a.m. It was during 2020. From 10 a.m. to like 12 a.m. we were there. And I got paid 500 shillings.
Coffee, tea, or neither?
Neither. I don't get the idea. Coming from Nigeria,
You eat bangers too for
and
breakfast.
then when I came here, everyone was like, "Oh, would you like some tea?" I'm like, "Why is everyone talking about
We
tea?"
want fufu and egusi for breakfast.
Where I come from, refreshment is more seen as soda, juice. Those are what people offer, not tea. Tea is when you are living in someone's house and you're coming for breakfast. That's when you have tea. And yeah, so I find all those tea and coffee habits
thing.
in Kenya. That's why I experienced that. Nigeria, not so much.
Amazing. Favorite childhood cartoon?
God, there are a lot. I used to watch a lot of cartoons with my dad. He was a cartoon guy. There was a time he even used Kung Fu Panda to describe the Holy Spirit. And I promise you. If I would say, that's a tough question, honestly. God. Shrek.
Anyway,
Difference.
I didn't watch cartoons.
I watched a lot of cartoons. My dad would always screen the cartoons by himself to see if they're okay for me to watch, and then we would watch them together. He's the one who taught me how to watch cartoons, not just for watching sake, but also learning life lessons.
Dream travel destination?
South Africa.
Eish.
South
Award you
Africa.
overuse?
Huh?
Award you overuse?
I always say it. I don't know why. Excuse
You're a
me.
Nigerian.
It's like, hello.
You're a Nigerian. What's one song that always lifts your mood?
It's a William McDowell song. Here comes the glory of the Lord, sweeping in the room. There's a holy expectation riding in the room. Now lyrics are failing me. With great anticipation, we want to see you move. Yeah.
Labi, do we give you a platform to sing?
No. Even that one was not as good. Yeah, I could have done better. That was terrible.
Okay. What's a hidden talent most people don't know about?
A hidden talent. I think it's emceeing.
Oh.
Yeah, but not weddings. Not weddings or those traditional things. Corporate gatherings, like all those things. I know how to moderate, more or less.
All right. If you weren't in the media, because that's what you do professionally, what would you do?
Music ministry.
That was so easy on you.
It's still one of my targets, actually. Like, if music ministry could sustain my life, I would do it without question.
Amazing. So what's the most used emoji on your chats?
Without looking.
Yes.
The laughing with the
emoji
crying.
with the crying.
Yes.
You and I both. And finally, the best advice you've ever received in one sentence.
Whoa. I've received a lot of advice in my lifetime. Trust God. One of my problems is patience, because I'm one of those people that expect things to happen like this because I will it, because I'm confident this is God's desire. So trusting. There's someone who is, every time I talk to them, they always talk about trusting in due time. Like, time has passed.
Yusuf, no
time has passed, like let the due has finished, let it come now. So, but having to be patient in waiting, because you think it's 1 month, you'll be there for 3 years. Father, kilo day. Yeah.
All right. Finally, sing to us a song you like. Your favorite song, as we do our outro.
Now, that's a dangerous trap you've laid for me there, because I don't know any musician or singer who has a favorite song. Let's see. A recent song by K-Strings. Tare da Yesu, tare da Yesu, tare da Yesu, munatare. Basically, it's saying together with God, with Christ. we are together. The bridge says, Bude idan zuciya ta Yesu, gan fuskanka. Basically, open the eyes of my heart so that I may see your face.
Amazing. Thank you. Any other thing you want to tell us before? You see the way in church they say, who has a burning testimony?
Yeah.
Any other thing you want to tell us?
No, I am glad you brought me here. I am so grateful for this opportunity, and I know God will continue to use you to bless many other PKs around the world. You are one of the people who are bringing up the conversation of late about PKs and the lifestyle. It's been burning this year specifically, and I'm glad this initiative, this project is here to bless other people's lives so that you touch as many who are not aware.
Man, thank you for coming. Thank you for honoring the invitation.
Thank you for
You see, you had a choice not to come. But thank you. I really
Whom's
appreciate it.
Tamai? Whom's Tamai?
I'm glad. Thank you for coming. You've had Labi. Labi needs, if you know how Labi can go to Netflix, please show Labi the way to Netflix.
I have stories.
We need to chop our money.
Indeed.
We need to chop Labi's money. So before we ask Labi for money, please show Labi Netflix. But anyway, that was Labi, Isaac Labi. And he is an amazing, amazing, amazing person. And he's gone through quite a lot. He's just given us the tidbit that could fit into the little minute cup or something. I trust that you have gotten something. You've gleaned something for yourself if you're in a very low season. If you've been going through grief and loss, if you've been going through sin and you didn't even know how to come out of it, please see Labi and be encouraged. You can come out of it. This year, the Lord has been sounding a bell in my mind to tell PKs, rise up, O wounded soldier, rise up, pick up your battle equipment, pick up your fighting gear and walk. You can still do it, and it is possible. This is Through the Ashes. My name is Grasher. Please do not just watch, like, subscribe, comment, share. Let us know if you know a PK we can interview and have a conversation with. Our email address is throughtheasheske@gmail.com. We will be happy to interview them, or if it's you, we will be happy to even talk to you. Until next time, bye.